Welcome to Psych IQ. In this note, we'll explore 7 proven ways to flirt effectively through texting. Stay tuned for practical tips and advice that will help you improve your texting game, and stick around until the end for some common pitfalls to avoid. Let's get started. 1. Start with a playful opener. The key to effective flirting through texting is to grab your crush's attention with a playful and engaging opener. Instead of a generic "hey" or "what's up," try something that sparks curiosity or makes them smile. "I need your expert opinion on something. What do you think about fun topic?" "Would you rather fun scenario or another fun scenario?" "I just heard interesting fact and it made me think of you." These openers are playful and create opportunities for further conversation. They show that you're interested in their thoughts and invite them to engage in a light-hearted way. 2. Use emojis and GIFs to add personality. Emojis and GIFs are great tools for adding personality to your texts. They can help convey tone, emotion, and humor, making your messages more dynamic and engaging. However, it's important not to overdo it. Use them to enhance your message, not replace it. Effective use of GIFs. GIFs can be used to add humor or react to something they've said. Share a GIF that matches the topic of conversation or references a shared interest. Remember, the key is moderation. Too many emojis or GIFs can make your texts seem cluttered and overwhelming. 3. Keep the conversation balanced. Flirting through texting should feel like a natural conversation, not a monologue. Keep the back and forth balanced by asking questions, showing interest, and responding thoughtfully. Asking open-ended questions. Ask questions that invite detailed responses rather than simple yes or no answers. This keeps the conversation flowing and shows you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. Responding thoughtfully. When they share something, respond with interest and follow-up questions. This shows you're engaged in the conversation and appreciate their input. Responding thoughtfully in a text conversation is crucial for effective communication, especially when you're trying to flirt or build a meaningful connection. It shows that you're engaged, interested, and respectful of the other person's thoughts and feelings. Here's a detailed guide on how to respond thoughtfully in text conversations, focusing on key strategies that can make a positive impact. Acknowledge the other person's message. A thoughtful response starts with acknowledging the other person's message. This can be as simple as affirming what they said or expressing interest in their point of view. Acknowledgement creates a sense of validation and lets them know that you're actively listening. If someone shares a personal story, you might respond with, "That sounds amazing. I'd love to hear more about it." Ask follow-up questions. One way to show you're engaged in the conversation is by asking follow-up questions. This demonstrates that you're interested in the topic and want to learn more. Open-ended questions are particularly effective as they encourage deeper conversations. If someone mentions a recent trip, you could ask, "What was the highlight of your trip?" Or, "Did anything unexpected happen while you were there?" Offer thoughtful feedback. Thoughtful responses often include feedback that reflects your opinion or feelings about the topic at hand. This feedback should be genuine and relevant, offering your perspective while respecting theirs. If someone talks about a movie they enjoyed, you might respond with, "I've heard great things about that movie. What did you like most about it?" Show empathy and understanding. Empathy is a key component of thoughtful responses. By showing empathy, you demonstrate that you care about their feelings and experiences. This can be especially important when someone shares something personal or challenging. If someone talks about a difficult day, you could respond with, "I'm sorry you had a tough day. If you want to talk about it, I'm here to listen." Use humor appropriately. Humor can be a great way to keep the conversation light and engaging. However, it's important to use humor appropriately and avoid sarcasm or jokes that could be misinterpreted. Thoughtful humor can break the ice and add a playful element to the conversation. If someone makes a light-hearted comment, you could respond with, "I think you just made my day. You're funnier than my morning coffee." Maintain a balanced response. Thoughtful responses strike a balance between providing information and encouraging further conversation. Avoid overwhelming the other person with lengthy texts and ensure your responses are relevant to the topic. Instead of sending a long monologue, break your response into smaller, manageable chunks that address different aspects of the conversation. Avoid generic responses. Generic responses like okay or cool can make the conversation feel stagnant. Thoughtful responses go beyond these generic replies and add depth to the conversation. If someone shares good news, instead of saying cool, you could say, that's fantastic. You must be thrilled. What's next for you? Take time to craft your response. While texting often encourages quick replies, it's okay to take a moment to think about your response. Thoughtful responses reflect that you value the conversation and are willing to put effort into it. If you're unsure how to respond, take a moment to consider the best approach. This could mean asking a follow-up question, offering encouragement, or expressing appreciation for their message. Avoiding overwhelming texts. While it's great to be enthusiastic, avoid bombarding them with multiple texts before they have a chance to respond. Give them time to reply and keep the pace steady. 4. Inject humor and playfulness. Humor and playfulness are great ways to flirt through texting. A well-timed joke or playful tease can create a fun and engaging atmosphere. Using light teasing. Playful teasing can be a great way to create a connection, but be mindful not to cross the line into insult territory. Tease about something light-hearted, like their favorite TV show or a shared experience. Sharing funny stories or memes. Share a funny story or meme that you think they'll enjoy. This not only adds humor but also shows you're thinking about them and what they might find amusing. Avoiding sarcasm or negativity. While humor is effective, avoid sarcasm or negative jokes that could be misinterpreted or hurtful. Keep the tone light and positive. Humor and playfulness are powerful tools in communication, especially when it comes to flirting or building rapport. They can lighten the mood, create a sense of connection, and make conversations more enjoyable. However, injecting humor and playfulness into text conversations requires a balance to avoid coming off as inappropriate or offensive. Here's how to effectively use humor and playfulness in texting. Start with light-hearted jokes. One way to inject humor into a text conversation is to use light-hearted jokes that add a touch of fun without crossing any lines. The key is to keep the jokes appropriate and relevant to the context of the conversation. If the conversation is about work or school, you could say, I heard there's a rumor that they're giving out gold stars for just showing up. We should totally cash in. Use playful teasing. Playful teasing can be a great way to create a sense of camaraderie and flirtation. The goal is to tease in a way that is affectionate and light, without causing offense. Keep it friendly and ensure your teasing is something the other person can take in good spirits. If you know they support a rival sports team, you might tease, I almost respected you until I found out about your choice in teams. But I'll forgive you because you're otherwise pretty cool. Share funny memes or GIFs. Memes and GIFs are excellent for adding humor and playfulness to a text conversation. They can convey humor visually and are often relatable. Just be mindful of the context and avoid sharing anything that could be misinterpreted. If the conversation is about a long workday, you could share a GIF of a person dramatically collapsing on a couch with a caption like, "Me after today's meetings." Make playful suggestions. Injecting playfulness into a conversation can involve suggesting fun activities or making light-hearted plans. This approach can keep the conversation lively and create a sense of excitement. How about we go for a walk and count how many dogs we see? The person who spots the most dogs wins a coffee. Use self-deprecating humor. Self-deprecating humor can be a way to lighten the mood and show that you don't take yourself too seriously. However, be careful not to overdo it or use humor that could lead to negative perceptions. I tried to cook dinner tonight, and let's just say the fire department now has me on speed dial. Know your audience. When injecting humor and playfulness into text conversations, it's crucial to know your audience. Understand their sense of humor and what they find funny. If you're unsure, start with light-hearted jokes and gauge their reaction before escalating. I've been practicing my dance moves. It's not quite Dancing with the Stars material, but I'd say I'm ready for a TikTok challenge. Keep it positive and uplifting. Humor and playfulness should always aim to create a positive atmosphere. Avoid humor that involves negativity, sarcasm, or mean-spiritedness. The goal is to make the other person smile, not feel uncomfortable. I was going to make a joke about the weather, but I think it would just blow you away. Get it? Windy? Be mindful of timing. While humor and playfulness can be effective, it's important to be mindful of timing. If the other person is sharing something serious or personal, injecting humor might not be appropriate. Respond with empathy and understanding in those moments, saving the jokes for when the mood is lighter. 5. Show genuine interest. Flirting effectively involves showing genuine interest in the other person. Ask about their day, their interests, and their passions. This creates a connection and lets them know you're interested in getting to know them better. Asking about their interests. Ask about their hobbies, favorite movies, music, or travel destinations. This opens the door to discovering common interests and keeps the conversation engaging. Showing empathy and understanding. When they share something personal, show empathy and understanding. Respond with supportive and encouraging words to build rapport. Remembering details. If they mention something important, remember it and bring it up in later conversations. This shows you're attentive and value what they have to say. Showing genuine interest is crucial for building meaningful connections through texting. It demonstrates that you're attentive, engaged, and sincerely interested in the other person's thoughts and experiences. When you show genuine interest, you create a foundation for deeper relationships and establish a sense of trust. Here's how to effectively show genuine interest in a text conversation. Ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are an excellent way to show genuine interest. Unlike yes or no questions, open-ended questions invite the other person to share more about themselves, leading to richer conversations. Instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" you might ask, "What did you do this weekend? Any fun stories?" Listen and respond thoughtfully. Listening is key to showing genuine interest. Pay close attention to what the other person is saying and respond thoughtfully. This might involve asking follow-up questions, acknowledging their feelings, or sharing a related experience. If they mention a challenging day at work, you could respond with, "I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Do you want to talk about it?" Express empathy and understanding. Empathy is at the heart of genuine interest. When the other person shares something personal or emotional, express empathy and understanding. This approach creates a safe space for open communication and encourages them to share more. If they discuss a personal struggle, you could say, "I can imagine how tough that must be. I'm here for you if you need to talk or need some support." Use their name in the conversation. Using the other person's name in a text conversation adds a personal touch and shows you're paying attention. It creates a sense of connection and can make the interaction feel more engaging. That's a great idea, their name. I'd love to hear more about it. Remember and refer back to previous conversations. One of the best ways to show genuine interest is to remember details from previous conversations and refer back to them. This demonstrates that you value what they've shared and are interested in their experiences. If they mentioned an upcoming event, you could ask, "How was that concert you were looking forward to? Did it live up to your expectations?" Show enthusiasm for their interests. When the other person shares their interests or passions, show enthusiasm and ask questions to learn more. This approach not only shows genuine interest, but also creates opportunities for common ground. If they mention a hobby they enjoy, you could respond with, "That sounds fascinating. How did you get into that?" Give compliments and positive feedback. Compliments and positive feedback are effective ways to show genuine interest. They can boost the other person's confidence and create a positive atmosphere in the conversation. Make sure your compliments are sincere and specific to the individual. "I really admire your creativity. The way you approach things is so unique." Avoid distracted texting. Distracted texting can undermine genuine interest. If you're multitasking or not fully engaged, it can come across in your responses. 6. Create a sense of mystery. Flirting often involves creating a sense of mystery and intrigue. Don't reveal everything at once. Leave some things to the imagination and keep them curious about you. Hinting at future conversations. Drop hints about things you'd like to discuss in the future or activities you'd like to do together. This creates anticipation and keeps the conversation going. Being playfully vague. When appropriate, be playfully vague about certain details. This can spark curiosity and encourage them to ask more questions, keeping the interaction lively. Avoiding oversharing. While it's important to be open, avoid oversharing too early. Maintain a balance between sharing personal information and keeping things light and playful. Creating a sense of mystery in a text conversation can be an effective way to maintain intrigue and keep the other person engaged. When done correctly, it can spark curiosity, encourage continued interaction, and add an element of excitement to your communication. Here's how to create a sense of mystery through texting, without being overly vague or cryptic. Hint at future conversations. One way to create a sense of mystery is by hinting at topics you'd like to discuss in the future. This approach piques the other person's curiosity and gives them something to look forward to. It also creates a natural flow for the conversation, encouraging them to stay engaged to learn more. I have the funniest story about what happened at work today, but I'll have to tell you later. You're going to love it. Be playfully vague. Being playfully vague can add an element of mystery without being too ambiguous. It involves leaving out specific details, encouraging the other person to ask questions or guess what you mean. This playful vagueness can be intriguing and keep the conversation interesting. I had a really interesting weekend. Let's just say it involved a lot of creativity and a little bit of chaos. Use cliffhangers. Cliffhangers are a classic way to create mystery and suspense. Ending a message on a cliffhanger makes the other person eager to continue the conversation to find out what happens next. It's a technique commonly used in storytelling and can be equally effective in texting. You won't believe who I ran into today. I'll give you a hint. It was someone we both know from high school. Avoid oversharing. One of the best ways to maintain a sense of mystery is to avoid oversharing. While it's important to be open and honest, sharing too much information at once can eliminate the sense of intrigue. Instead, reveal details gradually, allowing the other person to discover more about you over time. I have a favorite hobby that I've never mentioned before. I'll give you a hint. It involves a lot of water. Can you guess what it is? Create anticipation. Creating anticipation is about building excitement for future interactions. This can be done by suggesting upcoming plans, events, or activities that you'd like to do together. By creating anticipation, you generate a sense of excitement that keeps the other person looking forward to your next text. There's this great new restaurant that just opened up. I'd love to take you there sometime. How does that sound? Keep your responses concise. When trying to create a sense of mystery, brevity can be your friend. Keeping your responses concise and to the point allows you to maintain an air of intrigue. Longer messages can sometimes give away too much information, diminishing the sense of curiosity. Instead of detailing your entire day, you could say, "Today was wild. I had the most unexpected surprise. I'll tell you more when we meet." 7. Use texting to build toward in-person interaction. Texting is a great way to build a connection, but the ultimate goal is to meet in person. Use texting to create a foundation for face-to-face interactions. Suggesting in-person activities. Suggest activities you'd like to do together, like grabbing coffee, going to a concert, or taking a walk in the park. This moves the relationship from the digital realm to real-life interaction. Confirming interest in meeting. If they express interest in meeting up, confirm your enthusiasm and set a specific time and place. This shows you're genuinely interested in progressing the relationship. Using texting to maintain connection. Even after you've met in person, continue using texting to maintain the connection. Share updates, check in on them, and keep the flirtatious banter going. Flirting through texting can be a fun and effective way to build connections and express interest. By following these 7 proven ways, you can improve your texting game and create engaging interactions. Remember to be playful, show genuine interest, and use humor to keep the conversation lively. If you have any additional tips or experiences to share, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Psych IQ for more insights into communication and relationships. Thanks for watching and happy texting.